We're gonna start with my favorite, jumping jacks. Just about 30 seconds of each thing we're gonna do here. All right, feet together, hands down. 30 seconds of jumping jacks. Ready, set, go. You can go wicked fast like Charlie if you want. You can go kind of slow. You guys are all blurry because you're going so fast. It's amazing. Almost there. And stop. All right. We're going to do the squat switch, which is where you start with left foot forward, right foot back, right hand on your left foot, right? We're going to jump up and switch hands and feet. So start down here like this, left foot forward, right hand on your left foot. And we're going to, on mark, get set, and go. Switching. Ten seconds down, 20 to go. Get this way so you guys can see me. Almost there. Nice job. All right, this one's gonna be a little harder to do. It's space. Okay, I was gonna do jump the river, but I don't think we're gonna be able to travel that much. So we're gonna do speed skaters. Okay, so speed skaters is we hop over to one foot, swing your arms this way, the other foot. Wait, that's not how speed skaters do it. They go the other way, right? Something like that. Arms and legs. Getting down low. Almost there. Okay. All right. Slow it down a little bit. So we're just gonna skip in place. Shake the house a little bit. Get those knees up high. Use your arms. Nice high hop. Use those toes. Calves going. All right. Shake it out. And then just stay in place. Do a high swing up. Just kind of like a, kicking your legs up. Stretch out your hamstrings a little bit. You put your hand out, touch your toe. You want. I forgot to check the clock. I'm gonna guess we're at 15 seconds. Same thing. Almost there. All right. Take off my long sleeves. The next thing we're going to do is hopping on one foot. So start on, pick a foot. What we're going to do is start with 15 seconds hopping back and forth like this. And then we're going to switch to forward back. Okay. So now yet on your marks, get set, back and forth. 15 seconds like this. Then we're going to do it on the other foot. Back and forth. Other foot, back and forth. Left, right. Now, back to the original foot. We're gonna jump forward and back, okay? So stand on that original foot, forward and back. Hopping over an imaginary line. Really getting our calves warmed up. 15 seconds. And stop. Other foot, back and forth. Get your balance, forward, back. Nice. All right. Last thing for leg warm-ups that we're gonna do is a balance lunge. So you can put your hands out, you can put them on your hips, you can put them in fencing formation, whatever feels good to you. Put your weight on one foot. The other foot, you get your balance, pick it up, then go back, then go up, then go back, step down into the lunge where the balance comes in. So we're keeping our balance on one leg, swinging forward, back, into the lunge. Back up, switch the other foot, forward, back, and then a lunge. Just I'll stretch out here a little bit. Back up, other foot, forward, back, and the backwards lunge. Maybe a little bit harder if you put your hands on your hips. If you've got really good balance, you can do that. Or you can keep your hands out. It's cool. Back up, same thing. Forward, back, backwards lunge. I lost my balance there a little bit. I'm just gonna do two more, one on each side. Back up, that other foot, forward, back, and down to the lunge. Back up. Last time. Forward, back, and lunge. Apparently I don't have very good balance on this side. It's not my fencing lunging side. And back up. All right. That's enough for warming up the legs for the moment. We're gonna warm up the arms and then we get stretched. So we're gonna do a bunch of arm stuff. So we're gonna focus on getting really warmed up. And as far as the shoulders and the arms go, we want to pull anything while we're doing the infighting that I planned for you guys. Infighting with no opponent. All right, so start with your arms straight out like this and make little circles. Look at all those fencing shirts, I love it. Try to keep your fingertips kind of pointed up. Makes it a little bit harder on your forearms to keep this position. Keep your arms nice and straight, not floppy. And make the circles go in the other direction. And now make them a little bit bigger. Not huge, just a little bigger. Other way, same size. And now really big. Don't hit the ceiling. Nice and big, swinging them forward or backwards, whichever way you're going right now. And now other direction. Nice and big. All right. Little shoulder warm up here. So we're just gonna roll them back and down, up, back, down, up, back, and down. Keep on rolling them. Nice and big. I know they burn a little bit, right, from all those little circles you just did. Keep them warmed up. It's okay, it hurts a little bit. Just warming them up so we can stretch them out really well. And now shoulder shrugs forward, same thing, but rolling them forward. Feels delightful. All right, shake out your arms a little bit. Let them get a little floppy. Let them relax for a second. Right? like rubber bands. All right, take a hand, push it forward like you're telling me to stop. Pull it across, stretch it out, keep it nice and straight. I'm still telling you to stop. See, stop. My palm is still up. I can feel the stretch all the way across my shoulder blade, right back to my spine. And then let it go. Other arm, same thing. Telling me to stop, pull it across. Pull it nice and tight. Tuck it right underneath your chin. See if you can get it far enough that you can feel that stretch in the back of your back, over your shoulder blade, back to your spine. Hey, let it go. One arm straight up over your head. Drop it down behind your back and grab that elbow and pull it back behind your head. It's almost getting warm enough to actually wear shorts. I know, today was kind of cold. Yesterday was really cold. I'm just wearing pretend shorts now. Go. Other arm straight up. Drop it down behind your back. Grab the elbow and pull. Stretching out our triceps here. Let it go. Roll your shoulders. I just like to roll my shoulders a little bit, shake it out still. Now, put your hands straight forward like you're telling me to stop. Again, this time what I want you to do is grab your fingertips, kind of stretch them back a little bit. So we're stretching our forearms, all the little tendons that hold our fingers, that our fingers hold onto things with. Give them a little stretch. They don't often get stretched out. And then roll them over like this and push them back this way. So now I'm stretching all the tendons in the back of my hand. We're a lot focusing on arms today because we're going to use them in our infighting. And I'll let it go. Other arm, straight out. Same thing. Pull those fingers back. I don't know, left-handed, right-handed. We might go either way. Got to be ready for it. Can't stretch out one side without stretching out the other. And then same thing, round them over, pull them in. You should feel that stretch back here when we pull on these fingers. It should be comfortable, not painful. All stretches should be comfortable. Just like, you should feel like a little tension, but never pain. If it's painful, then you're going too far. And let it go. All right, arms stretched out. Let's stretch out the rest of our body. So feet nice and wide. Arms up over your head. Grab a wrist, pull it over, stretch out your ribs, your torso. You got enough ceiling space. And then back the other way, other arm, pull that wrist over. Keep those arms up over your head, stretching it out. I know, all this stretching. I always like, man, we spend so much time stretching and fencing, it's ridiculous when I was your guys' age. And the first time I pulled something when I was fencing, oh my gosh, stretching is like the only thing to do to prevent that. All right, I'm going to turn to the side so you guys just can still hear me. I'm going to keep my legs nice and wide. My arms are up. I'm going to drop over at the waist. Let it hang down here for a second. Keep those legs nice and straight. And now walk your hands over to your left leg and keep that left leg nice and straight. Hold on down here, like close to your ankle, somewhere between your knee and your toe. Wherever you need to put your hands, where it feels good, but not painful, right? And the stretch you feel in this one should be in the back of your leg. And now walk your hands over to the other leg, same thing, keep it nice and straight. Slide those hands down as far as you can while still staying comfortable. And then back to the middle. Let your knuckles dangle a little bit. Get adjusted because we're still upside down. All right, I'm going to turn to the side again. You guys can see where you are as long as you can see me. All right, so now I'm going to walk my hands over to the left side. Now I'm in runner stretch, pointed in the left direction. Both my feet are pointed in the same direction as my head. And just kind of hang out here for a second. Let's set that back knee down on the ground. And then we're going through the whole thing. Bring your body upright. Arms up on either side of your head. Arch that back. Look up to the sky if you can. Don't forget to breathe. Breathing is key in this one. And then put your hands back down on the ground. Pick up that back knee. Straighten everything out. Get your balance as you lift your hands up off the ground. You're getting better at this. Swing those arms up on either side of your head. So the same thing we just did, except now my back knee is off the ground. So I have to work a little bit harder to keep that balance. While you're here, don't forget to breathe. And then put your left arm forward, right arm back. So the same foot that's forward, that arm is forward. And I can see on the video, I'm trying to get my arms like as balanced as possible. They're supposed to be on the same line. And my back leg straight. And now take this front left arm and put it on the inside of your front leg. Put the right arm up in the sky. Look up at your right arm. Keep breathing at it. Don't let it get away from you. And then drop that hand back down. Oh, thank goodness we're back in runner stretch. And you're walking your hands back to the middle. Take a breath. And now go over to the right hand side. Same thing. Point those toes in the same direction that your head is pointed. And then set that back knee down on the ground. Bring your arms up on either side of your head. Look up at the sky or the ceiling or whatever. Try to get those arms as straight as you can. Kind of like try to get them right next to your ears. Pointing your fingertips straight up. And now put your hands back down on the ground. You're going to pick up that back knee. And then take a moment to get your balance. Bring your body upright. Arms up on either side of your head. Feels so good. You arch your back a little bit here. You're going to stretch out the muscles in your diaphragm. Your abdominal muscles a little bit.
Hello.
Hey, everybody. And then right arm forward, left arm back. Keep that front knee bent. Back leg should be straight. Oh, I gotta pick up my back arm. It's supposed to be even here. And now take your right hand, drop it down to the inside of your right leg. Left arm up in the sky. Look up at that left arm. We're almost there, you guys. Doing great. And drop the hand back down, back into runner stretch. And then walk your hands back to the middle. Take a deep breath. See how much more bendy you are now that you're back in the middle after all that. And now roll yourself up. Bring your head up, the last thing, very last thing. Beautiful. Okay, enough of that. So, grab a glove and a weapon if you have them. If you don't, it's not a big deal. We're just gonna do some footwork. Might as well be holding a weapon because it means we can do tiny circles. I know you guys love tiny circles. I'm gonna use my red foil today because cool. All right, so let's start off with a salute. If you guys have enough ceiling space for a salute, if you don't, well, don't ding the ceiling. All right, basic stance. Nice salute to each other. Beautiful. All right, everybody, step out into on guard. I'm gonna keep it small. I know you guys are all in small spaces. Anybody done any footwork since last week? I hope so. I hope so. We're going to talk about the drills that we talked about last week that I wanted you guys to practice. All right, everybody should be on guard position. We're going to start it easy. Advance, retreat, advance, retreat, advance, retreat, advance, retreat. It's a rhythm, right? Advance and retreat, advance and retreat. See? Kind of like a dance move. Tap my front foot forward and then my back foot. Now we're going to do double advance, double retreat, double advance, double retreat, double advance, double retreat, double advance, double retreat. Before we get too fancy, I want you guys to stand here in on-guard position. We're just going to do little hops. Just taking a little weight off your toes, like just for a millisecond here. Barely leave the ground. It's nice and quiet. Shouldn't be rattling the pictures off the walls. And then stop, extend that blade, and lunge. You guys should be all ready for the lunge after that warm up. Yeah. And back to on guard. And advance, retreat, double advance, double retreat, double advance, double retreat, double advance, double retreat, stop, jumping in place. Why are we jumping in place? We're jumping in place because it makes our calves stronger. Right? This is like the next step in that like weird jumpy warm up I had you guys do. And then from here, Grace is already doing it. You jump forward and back. Keep those feet in on guard position while you're doing this, right? This can be how you move on the strip, depending on your opponent, how energetic you might feel. I'm doing an advance and a retreat here. Stop. All right. So see how that works? This is the advance, classic advance, step, 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 step. When we switch it to the jump, right? I start jumping up and down, but I can also jump forward and back. Changing my distance. My opponent on the edge doesn't know where I'm going to go. I might go forward again, right? They don't know what to expect, right? Just going to keep myself warmed up. All right, hop it in place, in on guard position, and stop. Extend that blade and lunge. Hang out here for a second. Back to on guard. Extend and lunge. Back to on guard and lunge. Everybody should remember to extend first. On guard, lunge, on guard, lunge, on guard, lunge, on guard, lunge. All you FAS, do a toe touch in this lunge, right down for the ground. Right, on guard, lunge, and go for the chest. On guard, lunge, lunge, and jumping in place. All this hopping comes from your calves and your toes. You know, this would be really hard if you didn't have a big toe. They're so important for this. Balance and jumping. Next on guard, extend and lunge. Hang out here for a second. Make sure your front toes point straight forward. We don't have an opponent here to worry about. This is time for perfect form. Perfect form. Your body should be upright, front knee bent, back leg straight, back arm out. You should be like a picture of a classical fencer. Back to on guard. And advance, retreat, advance, retreat, double advance, double retreat, double advance, double retreat, double advance, double retreat, advance lunge. I haven't done one of those yet, huh? Back to on guard and retreat, advance lunge. Don't forget that extension. Start it with the arm, back to on guard and retreat. I want to say it. I can't tell if everybody's doing it. I'm pretty sure you are now. When we do this advanced lunge, it's advance. The extension should start while you're advancing. Finish with that lunge. That extension should be getting out there before you even begin your lunge. Back to on guard and retreat. Okay, let's do that again. Advanced lunge. See how I start extending as I'm doing the advance. Recover and retreat. Advanced lunge. Back to on guard. Retreat. Advanced lunge. Back to on guard. Retreat. Advanced lunge. Okay, you guys in perfect form. If you stay right here in this lunge, are you still in perfect form? And your front toe points straight forward. Everything all lined up. Back to on guard. Jumping in place. Yay. And stop. Extend and lunge. Stretch it out. Oh my gosh. I think we might have to switch to the non-dominant hand for a second. How's that sound? I do grab a different weapon. We can do it without weapons though, just to get that balance from one side to the other. We're not going to do it for nearly as long. So, set down your weapon for a second. If you are right-handed, you're going to do this left-handed. If you are left-handed, you're going to do it right-handed. Okay, so non-dominant foot forward. Here we go. Just for a little bit. All right, step forward with that front foot. Get your on guard. Pay a little bit more attention to where your feet are since you're not doing this as often, right? Advance, step and step, retreat, advance, retreat, advance, retreat, double advance, double retreat, double advance, double retreat, and let's jump in place. Since we're not used to being on guard in this position, it's a little easier to sort of like get kind of mushy when we're doing this part. So keep those feet in that nice perpendicular orientation. Stop and lunge. Same thing. Check that front toe, that back leg. This should just be a mirror of what we were doing before. And back to on guard. Advance, retreat, double advance, double retreat, double advance, double retreat. Extend that arm and lunge. Might be hard to keep your balance on this side, maybe harder to keep your knee in line with your toe. All these things are important. Important to get this stretched out on both sides. Back to arm and advance, retreat, double advance, double retreat, double advance, double retreat, double advance, double retreat. Okay, we're gonna try to hop in place again. And then we're gonna turn it into an advanced retreat hop, right? Forward and back, forward and back. You guys can do it with a non-dominant hand. I know you can. Stop and lunge. Don't worry, I won't make you do it for much longer. Back to on guard. And advance, retreat, advance, retreat, advance lunge. Hang out here for a second. This is also where we're getting a stretch. Back to on guard, retreat, advance lunge. And back to on guard, retreat. One more jump in place. And stop. Extend, last lunge on this side. Yeah. And back down. All right. That's pretty good. Thank you guys for going non-dominant hand. I know it's nobody's favorite. All right. So you go back to being the way you want to be. Right-handed, left-handed, whatever it is. So since we don't have opponents, this is a great time to work on basically the movements of our body when an opponent is there. So what we're gonna focus on today is infighting. I've set up my dummy here. This is just a pillow and a jacket with a mask. You don't need anything that elaborate. You can do this with a wall. You know, don't thing up the wall too bad. Your parents are gonna call me. So the reason that we need something to push up against is because the whole point of teaching your body how to infight is that you need to be familiar with what you need to do with all your body parts when you get really close to your opponent. A lot of us, if we're not used to it, if an opponent closes the distance really fast and we end up right here, sometimes, I know I do this all the time, instead of trying to make a touch in close distance, I try to back away because I have this idea in my head that, well, this is not a contact sport, like they're getting too close, I'm gonna back off. But offensively, there's a lot of good things that you can do when you're this close to your opponent. So this opponent is not gonna move very much. I can practice the way I'm going to form my body, okay? So when, wires aren't too close to me. When my opponent closes the distance or I close the distance and I want to make a touch on their body, but they're so close. So if my opponent is this close to me, I can't pull my arm back far enough to get my point on the target. I mean, I can kind of, but I have to switch my shoulders. I can't really talk to you guys anymore. It's not the most efficient way because I can't get my arm back very fast. So there's another way you can do it. If you are very close to your opponent, you can bring your arm, and I'll try to do a little bit closer so you guys can see. When my opponent closes in on me, I can bring my arm up over my head. I have to kind of let go. You can see my hand. I have to kind of let go of my weapon in order to get this point turned around enough that I'm going to be able to hit them on the lower target. I don't know if you guys can see that well. So kind of like in ballet, right? If we bring our, I don't know if this isn't ballet, but so many ballet dancers do, I think, right? You bring your arm up here with your weapon, you have to let go of the handle a little bit. So I've got a much looser grip. Show you guys. I'm holding it like this, and when I bring it up, I'm holding it more like this. So you see that the grip is not really touching my palm at all. Everything that's keeping my blade in place is just my pointer and my thumb, right? So just kind of dangling it. And I bring it way up over my head in order to get this point high enough to hit my opponent's target, okay? So the way we start learning how to do this is bring your arm up like this and just walk into whatever it is, your wall or something like that, okay? And just kind of get an idea. What does it feel like? How far up do you have to get this arm? How do you have to hold your weapon? And how do you have to angle your body in order to get this point onto the target, right? It takes some getting used to, and it's really stretching things out right here. That's why we're focusing on stretching our arms so much. So Bring your arm up over your head, and then come close to your target. This is like, we're not doing this fast, right? When you see people doing this on the strip, they're doing it really quickly, and it's because they practice this physical action, because it's very awkward, right? You're coming up here, and you're trying to get a little purchase from your tip onto that target, right? I bring my hand back a little bit to get the button to depress. So take a step back from your wall or your target or whatever it is. Bring that arm up, get nice and close. We try not to reverse our shoulders. Bring that tip up there. I have to bring my hand behind my head a little bit to get that angle, to get it in there, to get that nice positive touch. Okay, so this is a physical action that has to be rehearsed over and over again in slow motion first before you're going to be able to execute it on the strip, which is why this is a good time, because it's not something you really practice in slow motion with your opponent. They get bored. It's great to do with a wall or a dummy. Okay, so let's start this with a little bit more fencerly action, right? So we're going to start with an on-guard position, and then we're going to close the distance by taking a step in and bringing our back foot up, right? That probably needs to be a bit closer. So I'm at about, I can't even put my blade out in front of me right now, but what I'm going to do is step, advance, and bring my arm up over my head to get that hit in there. See, I have to arch my back a little bit. I have to tip my hand up behind my head. Hope you guys can all see it. I had to move the camera kind of far away in order to get this angle. So, starting very close to your opponent, make that advance, bring that back foot up, bring that arm up behind your head. Try to get that positive click when the sword hits the target or the wall, whatever you're dealing with here. Okay? So, we can start a little farther away too, if you guys have space for it, right? So you can come in, this might be your attack. This might be a distance that's closing because it's your attack, and you know that your opponent is kind of uncomfortable with close spaces, right? So you can come in, close the distance, and you have to really scoot right up there. You have to be like chest to chest in order for this to work. You know, hopefully you're not going to get yellow carded. You can do it without touching them with your body though. You can do it just by bringing your blade up. So again, do that action, you're going to advance forward, bring that arm up, right? And my back foot's actually coming forward. My front foot, balance-wise, that's what feels good to me. Might feel a little different to you, whatever you want to do there, right? So bring your body up close to your target, bringing that arm up over your head, bringing that point down. So as you're doing this, you guys should feel, I don't know, maybe you're in this kind of position all the time, but I would say most of us aren't. You should feel this stretch in the back of your arm when you're making this action, because it's kind of an extreme action. Bring your arm up back here, right? So that's why we have to practice it, to get our bodies used to it. If you have somebody who's willing to wear a mask, close the distance for you, might be a little bit more realistic. But remember, it's not always your opponent that's closing the distance. It can be you doing this too. So again, we're going to start in on-guard position. The attack is closing. I'm doing 2 advances and coming up really close, almost close enough to touch them. Get that touch on them. Get that touch on them. It's going to be the lower target. Odds are you're not going to hit them up here. You're going to hit them down low. Okay. So good. This is a good action to have in your handbag if you don't use it all the time. This is something that you don't want to like be pulling out of the box every single time you attack somebody or they attack you. This is something that you just need to get your whole body used to so that you can use it when you have to. But definitely not, this is sort of like an extreme case. You don't want to be pulling this out. This is not like a normal attack. This is not like this is how I'm going to start this bout. I'm going to close the distance and I'm going to do it in fighting. No. So we have to be using these in the right situation. Otherwise, it's not going to really work. Okay. So that's something that you guys can practice all week. So last week, I gave you some things to practice. Hopefully you did. We talked about the quarter lunge. We'll go over these things quickly at some point after I'm done talking to you about these things. So last week we did the quarter lunge. We did the 3 length lunge, right? The small, medium, large. What did we do? We did another lunge exercise. Oh, okay, good. Okay, I'm sure one of you remember. All right, so that is one body mechanism that we might want to be using is infighting. All right. The other thing I want to show you guys, the other thing I want you to be practicing is displacing your target. There's a few different ways you can do this. Some of you are small, and if you're fencing a larger opponent, target displacement is great if you can succeed in a counterattack. Most often when you're doing this, it's going to be a counterattack, which is a little risky, but there are times and places for these things to happen. So again, I don't have an opponent coming at me with an attack, but that's what I'm going to be simulating here, right? When I have somebody attacking me and I decide I'm not going to do a parry post, I'm going to do a counterattack. I don't know why you might decide that. There's a lot of different scenarios where that might work. And so this opponent, my imaginary pillow guy here, comes in for the attack. I'm going to extend my blade and get out of the way, okay? So the idea is that I'm practicing this body motion so that I can move quickly, because if my opponent knows I'm going to do it, his point's just going to follow me. If I can do it as he's making his attack, his point's going to miss me, go right on by, right? So I'm on a guard position. I see him coming in for the attack. I extend and step out. All right, I'm going to do that facing you guys. You can see a little bit better. All right, so you're attacking me. My counter attack is going to be with an extension. Get it out of the way. I might step off the strip when I do this. Be careful of that, because that will end the action as soon as my foot goes off the strip. So my opponent comes in for the attack. I extend, step back. Right? I'm displacing my target as their point comes in, whoop, and misses me. This is going to be a really good action if you're a smaller fencer, or just if you're able to change your position quickly, it can work for somebody of any size. All right. So, and we'll go over these again, but I'm going to give you guys some homework as to practice these throughout the week. Okay. And now this one, which I am not nearly as good at, but I know that some of you are, have seen me do it. Okay. This is another counterattack action. Right. My opponent is coming in on the attack. I'm going to do a displacement. This time I'm going down. Okay. Sometimes I can't get as low. I know I can't get as low as you guys, right? So, but if you are a smaller fencer, fencing against a bigger fencer, and you can do this quickly, it'll be very effective, right? So, bringing myself down, I'm kind of going to go into like a backwards lunge, because I need my legs to get out from under me in order for me to get closer to the ground quickly, right? So I end up sort of in a backwards lunge. And I've displaced my target as low as I can, right? So the idea here is that this attack is going to come up over and miss my target, because my target suddenly gotten much smaller or lower.
Really, it's your favorite move.
Say that again?
This is Willie's favorite.
This is Willie's favorite. Willie's like, yes!
No.
No?
Not that one, the other one that you jumped down. I can't even do this one.
You can't do this one?
What's the difference?
Well, the other one you just crouch down. That one you do a reverse lunge.
Yes. I don't know how else I would do it, because I need to get my feet out of the way. Like, if I just crouch down, I don't have as much, like my body is not in balance in a fencing action. Like, I can crouch down like this, but it's much harder for me to get back into fencing position than if I'm in a familiar action like the lunge, right? My body knows this, and I know how to get back out, right? Other crouches, you want to stay kind of within fencing action.
Well, you're kind of committed to that anyways, so.
Very high.
You know what? I think he's right. 100% commitment. You should flex with that.
just put your arms back and flex. And now we're going to work on the flex. No, nobody's working on the flex in there. Okay, this week we're going to be doing 3 different, they're not all counterattack actions. The first one is a riposte. So the first one was, we were doing infight when our opponent closes the distance and we're forced to infight. We close too, bring our arm up under head in order to make that hit. Okay. Action, like 5 times in the morning. I mean, like, okay. So do it after you've been like throwing a ball around with a dog or something like that. But try this 5 times, 5 fingers, not 4, 5 times each day. At some point when you're feeling pretty warmed up. Closing that distance, coming in. See how high up you can get that arm. The more you do it, the more your body's going to get used to it, and the more you're going to be able to angle the blade in such a way that that point really makes positive contact. Because in the beginning, if you can't get your arm high enough, you're going to like be like, fight, make the touch, right? You're going to have to pull it back, get the point forward, okay? Maybe if you're like really careful about it, okay? So, in fighting, the second one was the first body displacement. I'll do it pointing towards you guys, okay? So, our opponent comes in on the attack. I'm extending in a counterattack and displacing my target, right? I was here, now I'm here. They go, whoosh, they miss me. I mean, they go that way, right? So, same thing, 5 times in a day. This one doesn't require quite as much stretching. You're going to extend as you displace your target, okay? And then the last one, I know you guys all remember this, right? Opponent's coming in on the attack. Same thing, you're going to extend, but you're displacing downwards. So this is where I am on the screen now. The quicker I can do this, and the more often I do it, the faster I will be. Get my target out of the way, okay? So practicing those. For some reason, I can't get the right number of fingers up. 3 things, those 3 things. Okay, and as a review of what we did last week, can I see a show of hands? Did anybody practice the quarter lunge? Yeah, okay, got some hands there. Nice. All right, we're just gonna review quickly. I had a quarter here, I don't know where it went. You guys can't see the quarter anyways, it doesn't matter. Okay, just as a quick review, I put a quarter on the ground. It only works if we're on a hard floor, it doesn't work on a carpet. All right, and I put the ball of my foot on that quarter, stand in on guard position. The quarter is right here underneath my foot. What I want to do is when I make this lunge, I want to be pushing my foot up. So I'm pushing my front toe up in order to shoot that quarter forward. For some people, it works better underneath your ankle. For some people, it works better underneath the front of your toe. I personally prefer the ball of my foot, like in the front of my toe. The heel one doesn't really work as much for me, but you can do it either way. So either way, under the ball of your toe or under your heel, it both ways make you force your foot in the same action where you're pushing upward, and it forces your toe to go straight forward, trains you into a much straighter lunge, and tends to stretch your lunge out a little bit more. Okay, speaking of stretching your lunge out, the other thing we talked about was the 3-level lunge. So we did small, medium, large. Did anybody practice that this week? Yeah, nice. All right, so just as a quick review of that one, 3 different levels of lunge. I'm on guard position. First lunge is like the laziest lunge ever. Okay, right, I'm barely in lunge position. It's like I was really bored and I wasn't listening to Edmundo and I sort of like didn't try very hard. That's the little lunge. All right, the medium lunge, kind of like more what you would do when you're doing footwork. Stretch yourself out, right? That's the one that we've demonstrated a bunch. This might be closer to what you use when you're actually doing the attacks. And then the third lunge, see where my back foot is right now? It hasn't moved for the first 2 lunges. The third lunge, I'm actually going to shoot forward. So my back foot is now in a different spot. I kind of pulled it along with me. Most of the force is coming from, when I'm up here in this position, the force that's shooting me forward is coming off my back leg. It's pushing me so far forward that my back foot scoots across the floor. So 3 sides of lunges, lazy lunge, right? Sort of paying attention lunge, right? And then shooting yourself forward, right? To that nice extension. So I grabbed an extra 12, you know, if you really push it, you probably grab an extra 18 inches out of your lunge by doing this extra long one. So that's a 3-level lunge. How many times did I say to do it a day? I can't remember. 5, maybe I said 5. So there's not a ton of things. They don't take a ton of time, but if you do them every day throughout the week, you're really going to be, you're building up your leg repertoire, increasing your balance, and stretching out your lunge. Practice, practice, practice. All right. So we went over infighting, a single one of many forms of infighting, right? This is just one position that we reviewed. There's a lot of different ways to do it. But the one we're focusing on here was bringing our arm up. Right, my hands on behind the back. Practice with the wall. Don't practice with your siblings. So when I'm setting the pace with my opponent, it doesn't always have to be the case, but this is the case that I like to use a tempo change the most. I'm going back and forth. I see, hey, this girl, she's following me. Every time I retreat, she follows. Every time I advance, she follows. So I'm going to set her up, okay? You can practice this without an opponent. So we start with, oh, she goes. Retreat, follow, advance, yep. And then I step back, just a step. I'm about to make a retreat, right? And then I finish with a lunge. So the pacing of this, and this is just one example. We're doing one advance, one retreat, one advance, one retreat. You can do it with two, right? Maybe I'm 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, step, right? So the opponent is expecting me to take that step back because they started kind of getting lulled into the rhythm of that. So that's my favorite tempo change. Basically, just set up a basic rhythm. Rhythm's really important as far as changing tempo because if you're being really erratic with your movements, they're not going to follow you enough in order to be tricked by a tempo change. They're going to be trying to figure out what you're doing all the time, as opposed to thinking, she's like a metronome, back and forth and back. Except that no, I wasn't. I changed what I was doing. So that's my favorite one. Advance, retreat, advance, don't retreat. Okay. All right. So what are you guys going to practice this week? In fighting position, you bring your hand up. You're going to practice stretching that arm out, get that point on target, and then target displacement. Right? And then dropping it down. You can do it anywhere, anytime. You guys are young and stretchy. Just do it, you know? So the trick here, the thing that we're trying to take advantage of the fact that you guys do not have opponents in front of you. I know it's kind of sad that you don't, but this is a great time to work on getting your body used to different forms that you can't really practice live. I wouldn't recommend it, at least. All right. That's what we got for tonight. You guys have been great. And
I had to run.